Namaste, Jai Bharat. Geopolitics in the world is much deeper and different than what you perceive at the surface level. And as the case stands as of now, today, there is no predicting what may happen or where what shall turn into what. This is the situation. Now, we have been hearing that the US is putting tariff or various things, almost all to everyone, I think to everyone in the world perhaps. And the target is explicitly China. Why so? Why so? Because some 25 years before, what happened in China's history, the US wanted to have a manufacturing hub. They facilitated manufacturing in China. China took advantage, but then when they became economically powerful, they were trying to show eyes to US and to the rest of the world, everyone. Look at what China is today. They have problems with all their neighbors. They're intervening into many places. They're poking their nose to all over. They wanted to control everywhere. And of course, in the history, the one who controls the sea is apparently controlling the world. The one who controls the sea controls the entire world. That is that's something which practically we have been experiencing in sea. Now look at the situation today. US is the buyer. US is the buyer. China is the manufacturer. Bharat, of course, is software, IT. But Bharat is neither manufacturer in that extent and buyer. How China becomes a manufacturer? US made the manufacturer. That's the point. The US made China the manufacturers. And now they are trying to overtake US. In Bharatiya Sanskriti, the Hindus have a story of Bhasmasura. Those who don't know the story, please, I'm sorry, I can't explain. Hindus have the story of Bhasmasura. Ipso facto, in reality, the US had created a Bhasmasura nation, which is China. You made them powerful, you made them rich, and you made them capable. All facilities you gave them, technology, money, infrastructural support, equipments, taught the people, training, everything you gave. And now China has quietly, secretly captured the entire world. Captured in the sense, trying their best to capture. And they have progressed considerably to an extent of something very repairable. And this is where the present US administration, Trump, of course, fundamentally is a businessman, he knows what is what. So he takes drastic steps. There's no other way he has to take, or he had to take drastic steps, otherwise there's no stopping China. And if there is no stopping China, tomorrow everyone has to face disaster together. Naturally. US took drastic steps, imposed tariff. This is the kind of things that are playing behind the tariff story. This is a trade war. Look at the situation. US is the greatest buyer. China the greatest manufacturer. China doesn't buy anything. They only sell. Now US has options. They can get another area, say like Vietnam, to get things manufactured further, but this takes time. And the time capsule is where US is delicate. The people should stand by the president, and to what extent that can materialize is to be seen. No prediction. It takes some time. US is capable of substituting a manufacturer for China. For instance, Bharat. Bharat had been trustworthy except when people deceive us. Look at Pakistan. We tried all out, right? Even at the time of Atalji Bihari Vajpayee, he went out, in utter honesty. See, as a person, Atal Bihari Vajpayee is an absolutely upright and honest person. He is not a deceiving politician. So he went all out with an earnest hope that Pakistan will understand sincerity and honesty. This, of course, doesn't happen with Pakistan. Absolutely doesn't happen with Pakistan. So, Jaishankar, much more smarter, practical, he comes and says, there's no point in talking to them. It's waste of time. He's more than right. It's really a waste of time in capital letters to go for a negotiation with Pakistan, because there's no one accountable in Pakistan. They don't mean what they say. There's no one with whom you can talk to. Who will you talk to? The army, the Maulavis, or the elected people? All the three are three different parallel authorities, and no one is going to agree together. They will have their own separate agenda, and they have their contradictions. So we are taken for a ride if you talk to them. Somebody will say something and somebody else will do the just opposite. After the talk of that time Prime Minister Vajpayee, within no time the army came and sat in Kargil. Now this is a history with Pakistan, so you can't trust them. And Dr. Jaishankar said absolutely the right thing. It's waste of time talking to them. You're just spending energy, time. So, with China, similar is the situation. You can't trust them. You really can't trust them. Because when they have authority, when they are powerful, they have their own way. And there's no ethics in their relations. There is neither ethics, no morals, nothing in their relations. They are looking for their benefits. Their benefits means there's a difference in China and the US. China doesn't care about the people of China. They don't bother. They bother about the rulers of China. There is a section of people who are ruling. It's really a dictatorship in a novel form. It's not even communist dictatorship. It's not at all communist dictatorship, because communist dictatorship is defined in a specific way, and the Chinese dictatorship has nothing to do with communist dictatorship. But they are a novel kind of dictatorship where they have their kin, their caucus, etc. Their interests are being looked after. They live in pomp, show, luxury, and authority. So that they don't care for anyone. They don't care for their own people even. But they will see to it that it's again Marxian theory. The worker is given sufficient to subsist. China actually does a step as the people are given things to exist facilitates. They are given excellent facilities, but they are not asked to think. They don't have freedom in one word. Freedom is denied, but other things are given. That's their difficulty, the people to sort it out and the rulers to manage. But then if you see China, they spoiled the relations with all their neighbors, and the neighbors are repressed, coerced, they're helpless. They have border disputes, border problems, everyone. This had been the real picture, but now they are relaxing. Relaxing means they're taking back steps. Just because the threat from US is too much for China to handle. Because look, they are the manufacturers, they are the sellers, and if the buyers don't want to buy it, the situation is that in China. Though they boast that they would do this, they would do that. So what China is doing is, the Xi Jinping, who never used to go outside China visiting anyone, is now slowly moving into different places. Moving to Vietnam, moving to Malaysia, moving to places, inviting Bharats to talk, going to different places. Yes, China wants its friends now. And why they want friends? Because they want to resist US. And anyone who befriends China is in for trouble, shall be taken for a ride. That's what I feel like. Be prepared for a third deception from their end. They are using as instruments. Say they are simply using as instruments. They want instruments of support from others. They will go to anyone and talk anything and promise anything just because they want allies. I don't know, and then the US is no less. US is openly telling you be with China, you face this. And don't forget, US will have setbacks. It's only for time being. They are the buyers. Now you see who is bigger, seller or buyer. You ask a Gujarati businessman, they will say buyer is God. That's what the ethics of Gujarati is. Buyer is God. Treat them as God. And who is big? Buyer or seller? Definitely buyer. So definitely the advantage is with the US, but then US is democracy. China is not. China can afford to suppress their people. US don't. They can't. So in that democracy, maybe China and Chinese agents, I had been seeing some videos these days, or speaking absolutely the opposite of what is real truth. We know something, few things that's happening in the world. And I've seen a video, obviously Chinese created, because the way they use artificial intelligence language is that monotonous, metallic Chinese kind of words used, English used. One example, 10 Asian countries facing economic disasters. All the 10 countries I patiently heard, though it's very monotonous kind of English, metallic English, and the Chinese sound, Chinese voice, they don't have bass voice. So all the 10 countries are actually the nations that's making economic progress. They are telling they have the economic disaster. And when they talked about Bharat, I was just keenly watching. They are saying there are problems in Bharat, right from the streets. Economic disaster in Bharat. People are hungry. This is the story which they create. And those who don't know, the one who doesn't live in Bharat, could be easily led to think that this is true. This kind of propaganda they runs. Because they are shaken from within. Though nothing comes out because it's a closed society, iron curtain society. But the US democracy, they can create problems in the society, create bands and groups of people to react against administration as they do in Bharat, especially as they did in the previous elections. Somehow they wanted to see that Prime Minister Modi is not coming into power again. They tried their best, and kudos to the people of Bharat. They elected him again. They desperately tried out everything, and there are people within supporting them. There shall be people within US also supporting this kind of things who want to destroy the strength of US. So they will create all kinds of propaganda, Goebbelsian propaganda, Goebbelsian stories. They will keep telling, narrating. So that's where US is vulnerable. Somebody could create stories and make the people against the administration, so that the administration goes on a back foot. That kind of thing doesn't happen in China. Though China is in deep problem, deep soup, because they are the sellers. US need not bother, they are the buyers, they can create options with any time. Bharat, of course, is an alternative because we have not attacked anybody, we have never betrayed anybody in the whole history. In the entire history of mankind, of course, our history is more than anyone's history in the world. We have not betrayed people. We have some amount of honesty, some amount of trustworthiness in us. On a general understanding, we don't cheat, we don't deceive. Generally speaking. So this is the kind of trade war which is impending, and China is also openly threatening, implicitly threatening the people around that. Don't be with US, be with us. Be together. We'll create strong Asia. Strong Asia, strong China. Not strong Asia. And to the extent they invited our Prime Minister. Of course, our Prime Minister is a wise man. I think he will go. Because he doesn't have to fear going there. Because he is not going to make foolish statements like Muhammad Yunus. He is not going to make any foolish statements. He keeps quiet. He speaks only where he is to speak. And what he speaks, he means. You wouldn't simply say. He is not that kind of a person like Muhammad Yunus who says we are the guardians of ocean, all kinds of things. You don't get such meaningless, empty statements from Prime Minister Modi. I think he will go when they invite. And what he goes, just comes back. This Yunus fellow has the idiosyncrasy when he was desperately trying to meet Prime Minister Modi, and when he got a chance to meet him, he is asking send shakers in the back. How he reacted. See the video if you have seen it. He ignored that question. That's it. So if he is going, he is immune from within himself. He needn't be afraid. I think he will go. Invitation. And that's the kind of courtesy he maintains, we maintain. And then of course he is on a visit to Saudi. There of course trade relations. Look at the trade deficit there with China. They sell more to everyone than buy from anyone. They sell more to entire world than what they buy. They don't want to buy anything. You buy something from us and says, no, we make it cheap here. They manufacture every damn thing, and the technology is terribly advanced. The technology is exceptionally good. The technical people are exceptionally good. All these things are there. It's a soulless, like Marx says. It's an oppressed sigh of an oppressed creature, soul of soulless condition. Marx wrote it while speaking about religion, critic to Hegel's philosophy of right. It's a small booklet in which he said that. So we shall meet again with some other thought. Till then, Namaste. Jai Bharat, Jai Shri Ram.